Kia ora team, and welcome to Big Boys Boxing, where we're all about exactly that. The big boys, with big knockouts, and the big fights. So let's get into this.
Kia ora team, and welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. So we finally have a fight that's actually worth talking about. It's been a bit quiet for heavyweights recently. We've got a few on the horizon, but as you can see by the thumbnail, we've got Murat Gassiev taking on Mike Balogun this weekend. It's a pretty good fight. Well, it's not even on the weekend, it's actually just on the on Friday. I'm not going to try and pronounce the place where it is. I think it's Azerbaijan, the country. So, shit, I closed the wrong thing. No, I didn't. It's alright. I'm trying to make a mess of things here. There we go. Now we're good. Right, so I will post a link for anybody who might like to jump on and have a yarn. There we go, there's the link. I'll pin that shizzle to the top so it don't get lost. And we'll get into a little bit of conversation about this fight. So I'll get the BoxRec profiles on screen for y'all. One thing at a time. Chrome, there we go, and I better go and get into the voice channel. So if anyone joins, I know they're there. Scataboosh, I am in there. Just had a message pop up. Where's that at? Where's that at? Just looking on Discord. Some other stuff. The prediction league for this week. We got 10 fights to pick from. I'll get into that later on in the stream as well, though. So, first things first. Here we is. Mike Balogun, 20-0. He's the dude who took Trey Lippy Morrison's stopped him pretty easily, really. He's okay as Mike Balogun. As you can see, he's 39 years old. He's a southpaw. He's 6'1", no registered reach. Don't be fooled by the 20-0 record. He hasn't really fought anybody of any significance. This will be a significant fight for him if he can get a dub over Murat Gassiev. People gonna know who he is because everybody knows who Murat Gassiev is, former cruiserweight champion. But yeah, see these guys Balogun's been fighting. They're not absolute losers, right? Marcus Oliver with a 28-8 record. This next guy 21-7. Sergio Ramirez Martin. I don't really know the dude either. But here he is, Trey Lippy. This is one of Tommy Morrison's boxing sons. He hadn't really fought anybody of any significance, and when he was announced to be fighting Mike Balogun, I had a pretty good idea he was going to get beaten. But those are the only 3 fights. Oh, sorry, wrong guy. Keith Barr, I know who he is. He fought Junior Farr, journeyman level, as you can see by his record. Yeah, there's not really anything. After that, you start getting into the real trash. Look at these records, man. They're not very good at all. So, Mike Balagun is traveling over to, I'm pretty sure it's Azerbaijan, the country. I looked it up on this place, Yerevan. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. I'm pretty sure it's a city in Azerbaijan. So he's traveling over to the Murat Gassiyev's. Well, it's not really Murat Gassiyev's home country either, because as we can see over here, Murat Gassiyev is Russian. But tough being a Russian as a boxer at the moment. Nobody wants to give you any shots, thanks to Vladimir Putin, the dickhead who started a war because he wants resources. That's my opinion anyway. You know, he's saying that Ukraine started the war, but Ukraine ain't invading fucking Russia, are they? Piss off with your propaganda bullshit, Vladimir Putin. So anyways, Murat Gassiyev, 29-1. His one loss was to Alexander Usyk in 2018 in the final of the WBSS tournament. He's 29 years old. Man, he's wasting his youth, really, isn't he? He's had 3 fights in 5 years. Keeps getting injured. He looks older than 29 years old, that's for sure. Because, look, his hair's running away from his face like mine. He's 6'3.5", orthodox, 76-inch reach. He's weighing legit heavyweight weights these days, not like 217 pounds, I think was Balagun's last weight, but as you can see here, look, 233 pounds was his last weight. Prior to that, he was 234, so he's pretty consistent with where he's at, 230 at his first heavyweight fight. And the guys he's fought, I mean, has anybody heard of these dudes? 41-9. This dude must have fought absolute garbage cans to get 41 wins without being heard of. Michelle Wallace, we know who he is. He's an okay boxer for about 2 to 3 rounds, and then he wants to chuck the towel in once his check's cleared. I've seen him recently against someone, I can't even remember who it was, and he gave up again. And of course, his last fight was Carlos Welch. I know that name. Journeyman kind of level guy, even though his record says 21-2-3. If we clicked on that, I bet you most of this guy's record would be against taxi drivers, man. Let's have a quick nosy just while we're here. Alright, last fight was a loss. 10-12. This guy here, 28-1. Ah, it was Murat Gassiyev. Duh. Another dude that doesn't deserve recognition because we don't know who the hell he is. 38-8. Would have fought tomato cans. So if we just scroll down to his next loss, he only had 2 losses, so there it is. What's this guy's record, right? 17-1, a decent record. Everyone else would be garbage cans, right? So yeah, this is, to me, this is, I guess you could call Michelle Wallace a legit heavyweight fight, but we know all about Michelle Wallace. He's not really of any quality. Mike Balagun's going to come to fight. I tell you, he's an okay boxer. I don't expect him to be able to beat Murat Gassiev, but all in all, it's still a pretty decent fight compared to the level of opposition Gassiev has faced at heavyweight thus far. So we'll get back over to here. We'll have a bit a nosy. It doesn't look like there's anybody else in the chat right now. And let me just check. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a broadcast for this fight, but I'll check the media listing on BoxRec just to see if there's anything for y'all that we know of. Okay, it's got a listed outlet. What have we got? Oh, Russia Ren TV. Russia Ren TV. Okay, so let's do one more check, because damn sure we don't get Russia Ren TV here in New Zealand. So I'm going to look at my dodgy stream site, see if they've got anything up there. They've got nothing up there, man. They've got nothing up on that one. I've got a couple of them, so I'll just have another look on another one. What have we got here? WWE Network, some other crap. We've got stuff for the 2nd of March. No, nothing else. So it's not looking promising to be able to get a broadcast for it, but I'm kind of hoping there might be something pop up on YouTube for it, possibly. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Alright, so over to the chat. Popcorn Boxing is in the house. What's going on? Musically Zoned, talking boxing, stopping to hit the thumbs up. Appreciate that, man. And now that you've reminded me, I can go ahead and do this while you are here. Do not forget to hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe and that bell icon so you don't miss future content. Alright, interesting, the chat's not coming up there. Just let me go over and check that the stream is still running. It looks alright. Wow, the chat's not coming up on my stream software, but it's coming up through YouTube, so it's all good. Alright, so that's pretty much the only fight of significance for the weekend for heavyweights, but we do have a few other ones. If I just flick over, I will show you what we've got lined up for the prediction league. There's the fight. Where did I have it? Oh, it's on there. Just give me a sec. So, prediction league. Here we are. This weekend for the Big Boys Boxing Prediction League. This is our selection. Okay, so it's not all heavyweights. Obviously, I put some of the bigger fights in there from smaller weights. So just let me get my own picture up here, because that one's only on my software and it's tiny for me. Doosh. There we go. I can get a better picture of it. Oh, and even that's blurry. Open and original. There we go. So of course we've got the Murat Gassiev v Mike Balagun fight at the top there. That's on Friday. I believe the second one might be on Friday as well. Anthony Martinez, 14-2. He's gonna be in a 10-rounder against the Salgado. Goles. Don't really know the dude, to be honest, but I saw it in there as heavyweight fight. Goles is definitely the underdog, but got to have a few fights like these ones in the prediction league, so it makes it a little easier to get some KO King points. Ajit Cabiel is still alive, believe it or not. He's been pretty dormant. I think he's had one obscure fight, and pretty much this fight is pretty obscure for him as well. Taking on... Oh, actually, I know this Smakichi dude. That's right, it's not a bad fight, but I still expect Cabiel to win it. Smakichi, I heard Boxing Squared talking about him, and I had done some checking out. Yeah, Aaron Smakichi. I'll have to do a bit more looking into him before I make a prediction on that one, to be honest. Who else we got here? Alexander Frank, 21-0, in an 8-rounder. He'll be the favorite, of course, but the opponent he's facing is 8-0. And Raphael Holloway. Can't say I know the dude either. I've got a bit of research to do with some of these fights I've picked this week, so it's not all designed for me to win, even though I'm winning. But not by much. I had a bad week last week, and Philip Carl Roberts had a good or pretty decent week, and he caught up. He's only 4 points behind me now, so it's getting pretty tight at the top. We've only got 4 weeks to go, so we finish up by the end of March. Of course, we got Lewis Ritson is taking on O'Hara Davis this weekend. That's only a little guy's fight, but everybody knows these names, so chuck it in there. It's at super lightweight, of course. There's a few other fights on there. I don't think there's really any other significant ones that are really worth talking about for this week. Just have me have a quick... Oh, Jarrett Hurd's fighting this weekend as well. Of course, that's not heavyweight, but he's in a 10-rounder against Jose Armando Rodriguez. Might be a pretty decent fight. They've both got a loss on their record. Jarrett Hurd got 2. Yeah, he's got 2 losses on his record, didn't he? So that fight's gonna be at middleweight. Yeah, there's a few other fights on there, but if you want to get involved, man, just hit that invite link in the description that takes you to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server, and we've only got 4 weeks left to go in this season, but it's not far to a new season, so mark it on your calendar. It'll probably, I haven't actually looked at the calendar, but 4 weeks after this, no, 4 weeks including this week, so it's only an 11-week season. It will be pretty much the first week of April where the new season starts, and you can get involved, and if we get enough people, we might be able to get some prizes involved. We had prizes last year, but we had a few guys that dropped out because we ran for the whole year with no breaks. So if you get behind, it's a bit of a deterrent sometimes to keep participating, right? So it is what it is. I'll get back over to the chat for a bit of a look. What else did we have? Popcorn Boxing. Safari is related to Tyson Fury's opponent. Yeah, I figured it might be his brother or his cousin or something. I think it might be his brother, Sefa Safari's brother. But yeah, we'll see. So with the heavyweights at the moment, we're still waiting on Tyson Fury to take his diva skirt off and just get the fight done to make undisputed. We haven't had an undisputed heavyweight champion since 1999, and Lennox Lewis. It's about freaking time. You know, they could have had the fight in Saudi. Usyk had already signed his part of the contract, but Tyson Fury couldn't get enough money out of the Saudis. He wanted double what Anthony Joshua got for the Andy Ruiz rematch, and he's just freaking joking himself. He's not that big a draw, and don't even bother anybody trying to tell me, he sold out Wembley Arena against a journeyman and Derek Chisora. But the fact of the matter is, Derek Chisora has a pretty damn big fan base. People like watching him because he's entertaining as shit. So it wasn't just Tyson Fury that sold that out. And realistically, I think Tyson Fury took that fight with Derek Chisora because he knows that people come to see Derek Chisora. He's always entertaining, so he knew there was going to be money in it. It's not like he took on somebody that was young and hungry and he might possibly lose to, or, you know, anything like that. So you might be the Gypsy King and the WBC champion. I'm not going to scream about Lineal because I'm not going to go into it. Man, I don't even think Vladimir Klitschko could have been called the lineal champion. Yes, he was the dominant champion, but what's his name? Ruslan Shigaev being the consensus number 2. I don't fucking think so. You know, so as far as I'm concerned, Lennox Lewis is still the lineal champion. But anyways, moving on, we've got that Anthony Joshua and Jermaine Franklin fight is gonna happen. Let me check the date for that. Anthony Joshua box rec. So that fight is definitely scheduled. It's gonna be on, it's April Fool's. How did I forget that? Have we got anything else confirmed? We've got a couple of fights, I think. We had alright, so we've got, who the hell is this? Matteo Singani. I've heard the name. 32 and 6 with 3 draws. He's gonna be taking on Felix Cash in a 12 rounder. 12 rounder means it's for a title, but it's only a European middleweight title. EBU middleweight title. EBU European, so that's European Boxing Union European middleweight title. Okay. What else have we got on here? We've also got Craig Richards, 17-3-1. He's going to be in a 10 rounder against Richard Bolotnick. So that could be a pretty interesting fight. Richard Bolotnick comes to fight. He's 19-6-1, but he really does come to fight, and that's at light heavyweight. So I'll definitely be interested in that one. That's going to be for the WBA WBA Intercontinental Light Heavyweight Championship, and that is vacant. So we've got a bit of a card to look forward to, but that's still a month away, because here in New Zealand today it is the 1st of March. Well, I better check that actually. I should know. Yeah, it's the 1st of March. It's my oldest boy's birthday on Saturday, so keep track of the days, Jono. We also have on the horizon, Jared Anderson is taking on unbeaten George Arias, but don't be fooled by the unbeaten record. The only name that George Arias has fought that you probably would recognise would be Cassius Chaney, and he's not that good himself. Actually, don't type George Arias because there's a few of them. Get them mixed up. Now we want Jared Anderson. There we go. What we got? What date's this gonna be? Yeah, so Jared Anderson, 13-0, 13 KOs. Excuse me. It's not confirmed on BoxRec as yet. That's unfortunate. But if you want to know more information about that one, you can search up Boxing Squared. He did a pretty in-depth video about it, and I pretty much agree with everything he said in that video about this. Basically as a tune-up, but they'll be selling it as an unbeaten fighter, an unbeaten opponent, George Arias, blah blah blah. Don't get excited, man. It's not going to be competitive. George Arias is only 6 foot tall. He's a little bit elusive. He's probably pretty durable, but yeah, he ain't on the same level as Jared Anderson. So it is what it is. And of course we've got that Joe Joyce and Zhili Zhang fight. When's that? Is that April as well? Let me see. Joe the Juggernaut Joyce. Joe the Juggernaut Joyce is taking on Zhili Zhang on the 15th of April, right? So a couple weeks after the Joshua Franklin card. Let's see if we've got anything else. Oh, we've got a few fights on this card that are confirmed and ready to go already. That's good news. We've got Denzel Bentley. Actually, I knew he was going to be on there. He's taking on Kyrene Smith. That'll be an okay fight, I think. And Denzel Bentley's pretty entertaining to watch as well, win or lose. He gets in there. I've only seen Kyrene Smith fight once, I think. Well, he's okay from memory. Who else we got on here? Dennis McCann, 14-0, up and comer. 12-round fight. He's fighting the almighty unbeaten TBA. Wow, 12-round fight with an unconfirmed opponent. That's super bantamweight. Who else have we got here? We got Sam Noakes is fighting, 10-0. He's also in a 12-rounder, and he's also fighting the almighty TBA. That's at lightweight, and it's for the Commonwealth Boxing Council lightweight title, the WBC International Silver Light. Wow, they've got a silver title, an international title, and they've got a silver international title. How many sanctioning fees do you need, WBC? We breed confusion, and we be crooks. We've also got Michaela Mayer is fighting on that card. That's interesting. I suppose with the Top Rank association with Queensbury, anything to do with Top Rank, that's in the UK ends up on a Queensbury show. It's just how it is. 10 2-minute rounds. She'll be taking on Christina Leonard. That's a mouthful. Leonardo 2. Wow, what a mouthful. 14-2. I guess that's lightweight, is it? Or yeah, lightweight. So that's that one. Chick fight. Sunny Ali. 5-0. Who this? I think I've heard the name, but ain't seen it. Oh, he's also fighting the almighty TBA. That motherfucker's got a busy night, man. Super lightweight fight. He's fighting in lots of different divisions too. And he's also got another fight before that. Here's the almighty TBA. He's taking on Joel Kuda. Or Kodua. Who's 1-0. Good luck with that, TBA. It's only a 4-rounder. So there's another card there. But really looking forward to Joe Joyce and Zhili Zhang. Two older guys. Two guys with good chins. Two big ass mofos. Zhili Zhang's a southpaw. He did pretty good against Philip Hrgovic. It could be argued that he might have won that fight. I'm just happy to see Zhili Zhang finally in some decent level fights. He's been hanging around for a long time since he won his silver medal at, I think it was the 2008 Olympics. I believe is that the one that Audrey Harrison won? He must have lost to Audrey Harrison in the final. Joe Joyce is a silver medalist as well, of course. The 2012 Olympics, and it could have been, was it 2012? No, it wasn't. 2016, wasn't it? Was it 2012? Oh shit, it escapes me. So I thought Roberto Camarelli was in the final against Anthony Joshua. Oh, I can't remember. It's that long ago and I'm getting too old to try and think back that far. So jumping over to the chat, Phil Carl Roberts is in the house. Now you better have a worse week this week on the prediction league, Phil. You're getting a bit close to my tail for comfort. Calm down, son. Calm down. Joyce Zhang will be decent. Yeah. Still a month and a half away though. Unfortunately, still got a bit of a wait for any real decent fights. The first real decent one I think is, well, even Joshua and Franklin isn't real decent. It's okay. I don't think it's even as good as Joyce v Zhang, but shit, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe Joshua is a little bit past his best. Maybe he hasn't had enough time with his new trainer. But looking at how Franklin looked against Dillian White, it was pretty much what I expected from him. And to be honest, I think White is well past his best as well, being absolutely sparkoed 3 times. And how he looked against Fury, he looked like real easy work, man. So I think Dillian White's just hanging around to make a bit more money. I don't think he's ever going to get another title shot, to be honest. So take from that fight what you will, You got Zhili Zhang better KO Joyce early, or he will run out of gas, get stopped, quite possibly. I think it'll be a case of Zhili Zhang taking a knee later in the later rounds, and not wanting to get up. I've seen him do that. I think I saw him do it in the Olympics. Was it against Joshua? He did it. Might have been in the 2012 Olympic. No, who did I see him? I can't remember who I saw it against. It was in the amateurs or the semi-pros or something. I saw him do that. Of course, we've seen him gas out against Jerry Forrest, but like I've said 100 times, there was dehydration and kidney failure to consider with that. He hasn't looked that bad since, but even against Hergovic, you can see he's starting to lose a bit of his gas towards the end of the fight. We've seen him in other fights that have gone the distance where he looks a bit more tired too. So, and don't forget, I think he's 40 or some shit now. So he's an old boy. But Joyce is no spring chicken himself, is he? He's like 37 and but he's a phenomenon as Joyce. He just keeps going, man. He just keeps going. Stephen in the house as well. Old Marla, good to see you, bro. What else we got in the chat here? Scrolling down. Yeah, we be creating we be creating belts all over the place so we can make more money. TBA making weight. Making weight all over the place, man. Record time between fights even. Can't wait for Benavidez v Plant. Actually, that's a really good fight, hey. It's a really good fight. Obviously, I think Benavidez has got the power advantage, but Plant probably has the skills advantage, maybe even the speed advantage. And with the way David Benavidez really struggles to make 168, I think it's detrimental to his performance if he comes up against the right opponent. And Caleb Plant may just be that guy who can avoid enough of his big shots, move his feet to see if we can exploit him having to cut so much weight. Really, he's a light heavyweight, so yeah, Benavidez v Plant is a good one for show, man. For show. There's definitely a few fights around that are not heavyweight fights that are okay. I mean, Regis Prograis is having a fight. Who was he fighting off the top of my head? I can't think. He's got a fight coming up that's going to be a goodie too. I expect him to win it, but even that Prograis v Zepeda fight was really entertaining to watch. I thought Zepeda was winning the fight. Oh, maybe? No, it was competitive. I thought, but Zepeda got caught and got laid the fuck out. Well, he didn't actually get laid out. The ref stopped it in the end, didn't he? So, didn't even give him a count when he went down. Just called it off. So, we'll see what happens with that one. But I'm looking forward to seeing more of Regis Prograis. He's a really fun fighter to watch. I heard they're trying to get Haney Loma set for May 20th. Oh, well, that'll be good. That fight's needed to happen for quite some time. I mean, Loma dodged Haney before, basically because Haney didn't have enough of a profile, but now he's undisputed lightweight champion. There's no excuses, and Loma's quite willing to fight him, so let's get it. May 20th. It's a little way away yet, but I look forward to that fight getting made and watching it. It'll be hella entertaining. It might not be that entertaining for someone who doesn't like pure boxing, maybe. And pretty much with most Devin Haney fights, you've got to appreciate skills and defensive boxing to be able to enjoy how he fights, but Loma will make him fight. That's for goddamn show. I heard another rumor as well that I'll get to in a minute. I can get to it now. I heard Boxer are trying to make Parker v Hunter in-house fight. That's a decent fight. Parker doesn't look anywhere near the fighter he did when he was on the come up. He seems to have lost a bit of speed, a bit of hunger. He doesn't throw as many punches and bunches as he used to. And also we've seen Michael Hunter look a bit shady. He got out of that fight with Jerry Forrest with a draw, in which I thought he actually lost. He looked like absolute turd in that fight, did Michael Hunter. I don't even know if he's fought since. He's been trying to fight Hughie Fury, but as per usual, Hughie Fury, he's pulled out more times than me as a teenager, So, yeah, Parker v Hunter is a good one too. Let's hope it gets made. Hopefully they don't muck around too much. I'm sure Michael Hunter will want that fight. Joseph Parker is notoriously hard to negotiate with. Ever since he got that big payday with Anthony Joshua, he asks for a lot of money, man. So it becomes difficult. But it's not a cross-platform fight. There's no other real roadblocks in the way besides Joseph Parker and his greediness. So yeah. Mazos. Sorry. Mr. Zaza. Who lost? Michael Hunter, you mean? To Jerry Forrest, I assume you're talking about. Yeah, I thought he lost. He got the rub of the green being the A-side on Triller. And yeah, it was a caca decision, I'll put it like that. And there's been a few of them around, one of the ones that's been up for debate in the near past has been Franklin v White. I don't think Franklin won that fight. I thought it was close, but I thought it was either a draw or a White win, to be honest. So, is what it is. Of course, we spoke about the Zhili Zhang and Philip Hrgovic fight as well. That could have been a dodgy decision. I haven't actually gone back and re-watched it, but when I scored it live, I think I had it 1 point to Zhili Zhang, but I could have been a little bit biased. I had a bet on it at the time, trying to get some big odds against Philip Hrgovic. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. And when a fight's real close, I don't mind it going either way, really. But sometimes when it's close, you could say it was either definitely or a draw or this guy won. Particularly if there's a knockdown in the fight. So, yeah. Parker asking for money but not putting on the pay-per-view numbers. Well, no, he's not a guy that people are itching to watch, really, And he's never really has been. He was pretty big down here in New Zealand before. Even after he fought Joshua, he was still pretty popular, even though he took that L. And even after he took the Dillian White L, in which I thought was quite controversial, but a lot of New Zealanders down here have gone pretty sour on him since he ended up getting caught up in that drug trafficking case. And it's like the day before his name was released to the media after being suppressed for a year and a half or something. He was on a plane to leave New Zealand. He ran away, didn't want to face no music and the criticism. So yeah, Kiwis don't like that sort of behaviour, running away from shit, particularly if you've been actually acquitted, but you still run away because you don't want the attention, the bad attention. and fancy having your name suppressed for 2 years if you're so-called innocent. Yeah. So I've been a bit sour on Parker for a while, but not only because of that. Over the years, he's been one of the most frustrating fighters to be a fan of, because he's got the athletic ability, the speed, but he can never put it all together with the skills and put on a great performance. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, probably his best performance. Shiz. I can't even put my finger on it. You'd probably have to say the Ruiz fight, and that's not just because Ruiz beat Joshua. It was his first title attempt. It was vacant at the time, and it was a very intense fight. He did stand and trade with Andy Ruiz and threw some combinations at times, used his feet a bit better than Ruiz, so I guess you could probably say that was his best performance, but it still wasn't that great considering the skills, the athletic ability and speed that he has, so due to being frustrated with that mofo, it's hard to get him behind him, I always said he was just, it keeps moving. I always said he was just looking for a big right. I'm not sure who you mean there, Phil. I missed something. Oh, there it is. Hergovic. Yeah. He was just looking for a big right. And he landed quite a few of them on G Lee. And G Lee didn't stagger, wasn't hurt at any point. And then it looked like Filip Hrgovic was disinterested at times, walking away with his back turned at times. Like, fuck, I've hit this dude with everything I got and he's not moving. That's what happens when you fight too many freaking tomato cans on your way up, eh? Innocent Joseph Parker. You got it, Phil. You got it, Philip. I was surprised Joe didn't get charged. Those texts were, yeah, man. They had all the evidence there, but they still, the fact of the matter is he was involved, but he didn't physically do anything, and I think that's why they couldn't actually arrest him, because he was just associating. But the problem was the people they were his friends, and if you're associating with people like that, you're asking for fucking trouble, man. I'm surprised he can still get a visa to get into the States. Actually, I don't know if he's been to the States since then. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if he has, that I've seen him at any shows or anything. He definitely hasn't had any fights over there since. So maybe he can't get into the States anymore because of that. Because it was to do with the States. And also with him being under Andy Lee, are those guys associated with Daniel Kinahan? Because Tyson Fury was, and Andy Lee's Tyson Fury's cousin. Tyson Fury does a lot of training in Andy Lee's gym. I don't know, man. So he could be on that freaking list, eh? Joseph Parker. I don't know. True, but how many L's can Chisora take? Well, yeah, I guess when he, at some point, the British Border Boxing Control are going to make him take an MRI before every fight, because he's taken some hellacious beatings, eh? Remember how badly beat up he got against Vitaly Klitschko? Man, that was a hell of a hiding. What's up, Hannibal? Good to see you in, bro. Yeah, that was the hell of a beating. I mean, and even though it's only Joseph Parker and he's not the biggest one-punch hitter, but that second fight against Derek Chisora, Man, he got his head punched in bad. Real bad. I had Hergovic. What have we got? I had Hergovic just edging out Zhang. I thought he gassed out. Yeah, well, Hergovic reverted to boxing, and if he didn't put out that much volume, he wouldn't have won that fight. I mean, a lot of the punches he was throwing were hitting guards as well. You gotta pay attention. It's all fine and dandy to throw a lot of volume, but if nothing's actually, well, there was a few punches that were landing in there, but Zhili was still throwing back and landing as well, wasn't he? And he certainly was landing the heavier shots, I thought, with Zhili. So depends what you like, but I wouldn't argue with Stephen if you had Hergovic just winning that fight. I might have even done a live stream for that if I go back through the channel and have a look and see what I actually had live. I don't know, man. Chisora is one for a few. What? Chisora is open for a few more losses. He was trying to get a fight with somebody, wasn't he? Another fight recently. Who was he trying to get a fight with? I wouldn't mind even him getting in the ring with Fabio Wardley, and then you can see exactly where Fabio Wardley is, because Derek Chisora, if nothing more, is a really good gauge for where you're at world level. If you ain't got the goods, he's definitely got enough to make you work for the win. Derek is a disaster waiting to happen. Yeah, pretty much though, eh? If something does happen to him, it's gonna be pretty. Someone's head's gonna roll, you know, because to a point, when's he gonna stop getting sanctioned to face these massive 6'6" heavyweights that can punch like George Foreman? They're way bigger than him, and he just keeps taking him. He hasn't even been stopped that many times, has he? He's been stopped a few times, but actually knocked out. David Hay knocked him out. Dillian White knocked him out. I think those are the only two times he's actually been sparkoed, eh? But that's half the problem. He can take it and take it and take it, and sooner or later, those punches have got to have some sort of effect on your some neurological damage. I'm surprised he's still talking pretty reasonably as he is. I mean, he still talks like he did 15 years ago. That's pretty amazing. So I guess it's lucky for him these days they don't have 7 and 8 fights a year like the likes of James Toney and Evander Holyfield, you know, the guys who don't talk very well anymore. It could have gone either way, says Phil Carl Roberts. That's for the Hergovic Zhang fight. Yeah. Ngannou, he's an easy payday for a real world level boxer. I'm not trying to disrespect Francis Ngannou, but he's not a boxer. If he's gonna jump into boxing, then maybe he should have some intermediate level fights. You know, throw him in there with some guys that he can beat, like Michelle Wallace or not quite a Jerry Forrest, but that's probably a decent gauge without being too dangerous. Jerry Forrest, even a Carlos Takam fight, because Takam's way past his best in my opinion. Mind you, he looked okay in his last fight, I thought. That's what Chisora was trying to fight recently. Oh, that's right. You're right, Philip. I'm glad your memory's better than mine. You know, Deontay Wilder was trying to fight him. Tyson Fury was trying to fight him. I'm glad to see that neither Alexander Usyk or Anthony Joshua was trying to fight him. I'd expect somebody like Jarrell Miller to try fight him, or actually there's a couple of fights to talk about. Actually, Jarrell Miller and Big Dummy Brown are going to have a scrap. Let's see if it's confirmed. Jarrell Big Pharmacy Miller against Big Dummy Brown. The two multiple times caught drug cheats taking each other on. There it is, Lucas Brown. That's only in a couple of weeks away. Or probably 3 weeks away. On the 18th of March. Oh Jesus, what's that flag? It's going to be in Dubai. Wow. They got a fight in the Middle East. Let's see what card that's on. They are the main event. John O'Carroll was on the card. Miguel Mariaga. Got featherweight fight. Oh, there's a cruiserweight fight. Brandon Glenton, the guy who David Light beat to get the mandatory spot, is going to be taking on Salam Asharov. Oh, I know that name, but he's only 3-0. No, maybe I don't know that name. Salam Asharov. Who's he? Is he a Saudi or something? Come on, Boxrick. I clicked it, man. Salam Asharov. 3-0, 1 KO. Oh, he's Russian. Okay. 6'1". Lives in Moscow. Chapiovo is where he was born. Don't know where that is. But lives in Moscow. 6'1", so he's only an inch taller than Glenton. That'll be interesting. Learn something about a new fighter. He's 30 years old. Okay, I'll be watching that one for sure. Let's see if we got a media outlet here. Doesn't have a media outlet listed as yet. I know Dimitri Salita is still the promoter for Jarrell Miller. Lucas Brown, he might be a free agent these days. I don't know. I know he's got a manager that's got some hookups. Who else we got on here? Ruslan Fatar, don't know that dude. 8 rounds. What weight is it? Oh, it's a heavyweight fight too. And he's taking on Garman Garcia Montes. He's 8-4. 27-4-1. Okay. This guy, Ruslan Fafa, is ranked 72 on BoxRec. There's another one to look into. And his opponent is ranked 79, so according to BoxRec it should be competitive. Well, this is quite a big card, man. I'm just down to the 8 rounders, having a look. cruiserweight fight on here. Featherweight, super welterweight, light heavyweight, middleweight. Holy shit. And it keeps going. That's a big card. So that's one to look out for on the 18th of March. Couple weeks away. The drug cheats are beating the shit out of each other. It's going to be in a 10 rounder. No belts on the line according to BoxRec at this point. So that'll be interesting. There was another fight that I had in my mind, but now if I can remember what it was, there's another one I was thinking about that might be interesting, but it's left my mind for now. Maybe I'll think of it before I close this down, which won't be too far away. Conor Ben ate too many eggs. Yeah, that's a load of horse shit too, Stephen, because that shit that was in the system, a lot of places around the world feed it to their chickens to help their productivity and whatnot, but in the UK where Conor Ben lives, it's illegal to feed the chickens, so they don't have it in their fucking eggs. Man, load of horse shit. And he's turning around and thinks he's going to be able to sue the British Board of Boxing Control for defamation of character and for them cancelling their sanctioning of the Chris Eubank fight. So he's trying to get his purse off them as well. Conor Ben's a fucking unit, arrogant little spoilt brat. He might be a pretty decent boxer, but I got no time for listening to this bullshit. You got drugs in your system, you're responsible for fucking not having the shit in your system. You're responsible for what you stick in your mouth, what you stick up your ass, what you stick in your nose, whatever. So, too many fucking eggs or not, Conor Ben, you're full of shit. You're a spoiled brat. Right, what do we have here? Yeah, Conor Ben is suing the British Board of Boxing Control for $3.5 million. Plus defamation of character suit, from what I hear, because that $3.5 million was apparently his purse for the Chris Eubank fight. So, this is just what I've heard and what I've read. So, Conor Ben should be banned, yeah, I agree. Or at least have some kind of consequences. But the only consequence he's had for having this clofamine, I think it is, in the system, is he missed out on a big payday. And possibly, he can't sue for things that didn't happen. If he had have knocked out Chris Eubank Jr., he would have got a hell of a lot more recognition as a fighter, but he did it because he wasn't responsible with putting shit in his body, so he's really only got himself to blame. Bag of peds to the winner. Nice one, Hannibal. Jono, yes, I heard that the eggs in the UK, yeah. I don't know if he did a camp in the US or what, but I don't know. Don't really care with that ped shit. I'm not fucking interested in excuses. You got something in your system, you got something in your system. Unless someone held you down, injected you with something, or, you know, fucking tied you down and jammed shit up your ass, or fucking something, I don't know, man. I'm not interested in these bullshit excuses. It's the fighter's responsibility to monitor and know what they're putting into their body. They shouldn't be just taking things from dodgy trainers that say, here, eat this, it's good for you. Imported eggs, I guess it's a possibility. Philip, but I'd imagine that the UK with their biosecurity would be a bit more stringent about what types of imported foods come in. If there's shit coming from chickens that potentially have clofamine in them, I'm sure there'd be some kind of restriction or something. I don't know. You'd know better than me, bro, you being in Wales. Is Pfizer sponsoring Big Baby Miller? Oh, I don't know, man. Why would they be? I don't know. Miller's been fighting on these shows for the WBA, these knockout drugs shows, but it's been in Argentina and shit. I don't follow too much about what the big pharmacy's doing these days, to be honest. When he's got a fight scheduled, then I'll be interested if he's fighting anybody decent. But otherwise, drug cheats don't get my attention, especially 3-time drug cheats. You got caught in MMA and been caught twice in boxing too. Mexican beef. I've forgotten what that drug is. It starts with A, doesn't it? Oh no. Clenbuterol? Clenbuterol was one of the drugs that Lucas Brown got caught with, and the other one was started with A. Can't remember what it was. Mexican beef. Straight from Canelo's ranch. Uncastrated boar. Wow. Uncastrated boar meat. The thing is, if somebody's got a boar for breeding, they don't kill it for meat, right? If you're talking about wild boar, for sure, you could have an uncastrated one that you'd kill for meat. But guess what? Wild pigs in the UK have been extinct for 150 years. So Tyson Fury's bullshit. I can't believe that nobody saw through that shit. Uncastrated boar meat. To have that much testosterone, even from an uncastrated boar, you'd have to eat the nuts, the actual nuts. Num num num. Tyson Fury likes balls in his mouth. Miller looks like a fresh without pets. Like a what? Looks like trash without pets. Yeah, I watched that Ariel Bracamonte fight, and he just does not have the gas tank. Mind you, he's a hell of a lot fatter too. He's over 300 pounds now. Before he was kicking around 270, 280, but over 300 pounds. He just looks like a freaking African. Oh no, it's not African American. What are they called? Where's he come from? Comes from that island, doesn't he? Initially, can't remember what it's called. Where that big hole in the ocean is, the blue hole. He was born in that country. I can't remember what it's called. Looks like a big sumo wrestler from there anyway, is where I was getting to. Pfizer, RE bags of peds rather than a title. Wow. Something like that. Lucas Brown's going to need a Zimmer frame if he doesn't get on peds soon. He's old. He's well past his best. He's a bit chinny, mind you. He looked pretty good against. Well, actually, he looked like shit. I'll take that back. Against Fainga Apulu, who beat Hemi Ahio. He was getting his ass beat up bad. It was just lucky Fainga Apulu ran out of gas, and old Dummy Brown had enough left in the tank after getting his face smashed in to throw a couple of good punches and get an exhausted Apulu out of there. Mr. Zaza getting at? I missed what the comment was. Message retracted. Mr. Zaza facts. Canelo would have to have eaten about 50 cows with that. I think he ate a taco and stuck a syringe full of. It wasn't clenbuterol, was it? It was something else, or was it clem? It might have been in his taco. And then blamed it on the beef. It wasn't high amounts from what I remember from the WBC reports, but how much money does Canelo make the WBC? Millions. So they're going to do everything they can to keep him happy and keep him paying their sanctioning fees, aren't they? So, yeah, it's dodgy too. He'd use his rifle in boxing. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that use it for sure. And with the technologies and knowledge that we have these days, with being able to cycle stuff out in short amounts of time, mix it with certain drugs to mask certain shit, it's always going to be a problem. But at the same time, I'm glad that some guys do get caught now and then, and when they do get caught, they should be fucking paying the price. Once you get in my opinion, once you should be suspended for say 6 months, twice you get 2 years, 3 times banned for life. End of story. No matter what your fucking excuses, because like I keep saying, it's their responsibility to know what they're putting into their body. So if there's shit getting into your body without you knowing about it, you're not being responsible enough, full stop, as an athlete. So either way, you should pay the price. That shit's in your system, it's got to go. You got to go. You got to pay the price. End of story. That's my opinion anyway. Yeah, but Canelo NR one superstar. Oh, it must be number one superstar. Mexico too big to fail. Oh, wow. Special treatment for special fighters is not on. Greed should not motivate these so-called non-profit organizations like the WBC, like the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. The one organization that you don't seem to see dealing with PEDs whatsoever is the WBO. I can't recall off the top of my head in recent years of any fighter that's been suspended by the WBO for any kind of drug use or suspected drug use. So just an interesting thing that's poked out there for y'all. Interesting to see Murat Gassiev fighting this weekend. Yeah, well, and also like I was talking at the start of the stream, I think it's interesting because Mike Balagan's of a level that I believe Gassiev hasn't fought at heavyweight before. Yes, people know who Michelle Wallace is, but that dude's shit. I think Mike Balagan would knock his head clean off. So this is a good fight. I do believe Murat Gassiev's got a pretty good chin, but to be fair, besides Yonir Dorticus, I don't believe he's faced any really big punches. And Dorticus isn't a heavyweight. Mind you, Mike Balagan's not a big heavyweight. He's only 6'1". He's weighing about 217 pretty consistently. But I've watched Balagan a few times and he can punch. So if he can get to Gassiev and land something on his chin, maybe we'll find out. But I think that's going to be the biggest issue for Balagan, is getting to that chin of Gassiev. He's got a good jab, he's got a good straight. He will get respect from Balagan. And Balagan will know what he's in for. You know, there's been plenty of stories around the media of Gassiev being the hardest puncher that people have sparred with if they've sparred with him. This is heavyweights included. So, yeah, we're going to see what Mike Balagan's chin is like as well, aren't we? David Light fighting for a title in a month or two. Yeah, he's fighting Lawrence Okoli for the WBO title. He earned that shot. You see, Lawrence Okoli's been talking about fighting someone else. Who was that off the top? Oh shit, it eludes me. The guy who's leaving Eddie Hearn. Oh no, that's Lawrence Okoli, isn't it? Come on, Phil, help me out. You know what I'm talking about. Lawrence Okoli's been talking about fighting the other Brit. That's a cruiserweight. That's right up there. Fuck. Can't remember his name. Alright, I'm just off the chat at the moment, but I'll be back in a sec. Just looking up David Light, see if this fight is scheduled. Yes, it is. So the 25th of March, he'll be fighting Lawrence Okoli. I'm sure that's for the WBO title. I'm sure that was on the undercard or something important. Or was it a standalone event? It says it's the main on boxing. BoxRec. Michael Gans Jr. v. Levi Giles is the co-main according to BoxRec. That's a super featherweight fight. What else have we got on here? Oh, there's a heavyweight fight on here. Fraser Clark is fighting Rydell Booker, the ancient Rydell Booker. Well, poor Fraser. I'll tell you now, that's going to be another no stoppage fight. Whether he beats Booker, or he should be able to beat Booker, surely. Rydell Booker has been stopped once. His last fight was a win. Norman Neely, he fought 13-0. That was an upset. Rydell Booker's still got some life in him, man. Norman Neely, I know the name. Rydell Booker beat him, knocked him out in the first round. Ooh, look out, Fraser. How old is Rydell Booker now? Christ, he must be older than dust. Oh fuck, I thought it said 63, but he's 6'3". Luis Ortiz styles. 79. Right, where's his age? He's 42, is Rydell Booker. So this is on the, I'll be interested in watching this. Let's see, who was it who stopped Rydell Booker? UD, draw. There it is. TKO in the 5th round. Filip Hrgovic. I think I remember that one. He didn't actually get knocked out. He got stopped. Referee stoppage. Filip Hrgovic had quite a few of those on his record, where the referee just stops it. Even when the guy his opponent hasn't even gone down quite often. Okay, so yeah, there was actually a story on the news last night about David Light, and there's a Kiwi chick who also fights out of the what's his name? The same gym. They got a new gym they built out in the Waitakaris in West Auckland here. Isaac Peach, that's his name. Isaac Peach Boxing. He's a really good coach, man. And I thought it might be on the same card, because they were talking like this chick is going to be fighting on the same card, but it must be somewhere similar in time. She's fighting for a world title at featherweight or something. This Kiwi chick, I can't think who it was off the top of my head. But anyways, they had David Light on the news here in New Zealand last night talking about this upcoming fight, so it's good to see him getting a bit of publicity and a bit of recognition for what he's achieved so far. I don't think he's going to beat Lawrence Okoli, to be honest, but that's it, Richard Riakpo. Thank you, Philip. Yeah, so Lawrence Okoli hasn't been talking about his mandatory shot whatsoever. He's been talking about fighting Richard Riakpo, so I hope he keeps his mind on the job. David Light was underestimated in his last fight against Brandon Glenton, and look what happened. He won. Unanimous decision. I think it was unanimous. Glenton throws lots of punches and puts on a lot of pressure, and they had a lot of hype behind him in America. And they're like, oh, who's this David Light? He's going to lose because who's David Light? But David Light can punch. He's got pretty good fundamentals. I just don't think he's big enough to beat Lawrence Okoli. He's only 6'1", I think. Not huge for a cruiserweight, but not tiny. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Lawrence Okoli doesn't put pressure on like Brandon Glenton does. So the gas tank might not be as much of an issue for David Light. He seems to have a pretty good chin so far. He spars with Kiki Toa Latali, who actually hits pretty hard. He hurt Justice Huni a couple of times. He just about knocked out Dempsey McKean. And David Light spars him a lot in their gym, and doesn't have any problems with chin. So I think many people might be surprised at how well David Light does in that fight, but I don't think he will win it, to be honest. I spelled it wrong too. What you talking about? A Riakpo. Yeah, I know. Yes. RIACPORHE. Yeah, something crazy like that. It's all good, man. We know what you mean, obviously. Richard Riakpo. 63, yeah. Little T styles. Anyways, that's probably enough for today, yo. I thought I'd better get on and have some conversation about what's going on. A few fights to look forward to. Hopefully we're going to get a broadcast of that Gassiev v Balogun fight pop up on a stream site or something, or with any luck they'll put it on YouTube. So if any of y'all spot a way to watch that, don't be shy to get over to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server and drop a link or information in the boxing chat channel. And yeah, so that's about us for today. I appreciate everybody jumping in, coming and having a yarn. Stephen, Phil, Carl, Roberts, Hannibal, Mr. Zaza, Popcorn Boxing, all of y'all. Appreciate every single one of y'all. And yeah, something will be happening, always is, every weekend on the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. We stream fights, we have fight parties. There's plenty to do over there. Like I said earlier, the prediction league's there if anybody wants to get involved. We're into the last 4 weeks before we start a new season, so set yourself a reminder for the start of April to get over, have a look, and get involved with the next season. And like I said earlier, Phil, just calm down, mate. Just calm down, Phil Carl Roberts. 4 points behind me. But in all seriousness, good luck, bro. So that's us for today. I'll catch you all next time. And I am out of here. Alright team, that's all we have for you today. Hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and that bell icon for future notifications so you don't miss nothing. Also, get over to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. The invite link is in the description. There's lots of things you can find there, like fight links, boxing chat, prediction leagues, fight streams, and fight parties. So get into it. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. See you.